Hello. Oh, I'm going to fix my camera. I got a lot going on behind me today. I have a lot of artwork from a recent art show that I did, but I still have to get back into place. But good morning. Hi, welcome to Miracle Mornings Live. I'm not going live on Instagram again today. Hold on, let me just get rid of that. I went over there and just posted to come over here and watch on YouTube. So I tried the TikTok thing. I guess you have to have 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok, and I don't use TikTok, so I don't have that following yet. But I can try to build it in the meantime just by posting other clips and stuff. So it's just going to be us here on YouTube for now anyways, and then I hope to cut up the videos and put little clips out and stuff on my other social media platforms because I find that the shorts do really well. I don't know if anybody else is using all these different platforms, but people tend to like really bite-sized pieces of information. And I don't mind doing the editing to do that. So welcome to Miracle Mornings Live. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about physical health, diet, exercise. Not that I have all the answers. Trust me, I do not. I just like having the conversation about it because I've tried like literally everything. Every supplement, I'm totally like, I buy all the Instagram ads. I try everything. So I do at least have a lot of knowledge from experience. That's all. But I am no expert by any means. If you're joining live or even if you're watching the replay, say hi in the comment section and like the video. It goes a long way to helping my videos in the algorithm. Right now, this channel is a little bit cold, but I am excited to announce that I have restarted an email list. I kind of gave up on it for a while because I had a whole episode about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago now. So I haven't been doing email lists, but I decided to start it back up again so that I can share these videos with my audience in another way. And I'll also be sharing recent paintings and any courses that I'm teaching all on that email list. So if you're not catching the YouTube show regularly, you can get updates there. You can go to HeidiHope.com and just sign up for the email there. I'll post everything below. I'll have a direct link below too, where you can sign up to be part of the email list. I don't email a lot, so don't worry, you're not going to be bombarded. But I like to share my current projects and all that type of stuff too. So today, one of the things, thanks for the likes. I see your thumbs up. Say hi in the chat so I can see you. So I wanted to talk today. Actually, I recently seen a video on grounding, and grounding is something I learned about at least like a decade ago, but I realized that not a lot of people do it or understand it or have even heard of it before. So hi, Jackie. So, it's really powerful for your health. So we have, all humans, we have an electromagnetic frequency, and that is radiated by our hearts. We're electrical beings. We are always emitting energy, and we're always emitting EMFs, just like other things around us, like technology, are emitting EMFs. Ours is supposed to be resonant with the earth, and the earth's electromagnetic frequency is measured by the Schumann scale, or the Schumann resonance scale. And you can look that up. And that fluctuates based on what's going on. Like solar flares will make the Schumann resonance go up. And usually it corresponds to things that are happening on Earth. If you see flares in the Schumann resonance, usually you can actually feel a lot of that in your body. If you're a sensitive person or an empathetic person, a lot of times you feel it even more. If you feel energies, you'll feel it. You might be more tired. You might need to sleep more. You might see people acting a little bit more crazy, kind of like full moon energy. So you can download, there's an app that you can download for your phone. If you're interested in it, you can see what the Schumann resonance is doing all the time. And usually when you see big spikes in the Schumann resonance, things happen on a global scale. So they do correlate, at least. Maybe it's not the causation, but it's a correlation. They correlate with a lot of big things that are happening on Earth. And you'll see it go up, like if a volcano erupts or if there's an earthquake, you'll notice differences in the Schumann resonance. So it's just kind of a cool thing. Well, we are supposed to be similar in resonance to the Earth, and a lot of things disrupt that in our environment now. So technology is a big one, and that's where we hear about EMFs, right? Coming from our cell phones, coming from wireless. If you're on an airplane, that's really disruptive. So grounding practices can connect us back to the earth and the earth's resonance, because the earth's always emitting a charge too, and we can like calibrate with it. Hi, Angela. Thanks for being here. So how do we ground? Like the simplest way to ground, and none of us really do this anymore, right, is standing barefoot on the earth. So not in your house, because your house has a foundation and there's usually plastics and all different things that are keeping you from the resonance of the earth, but like barefoot in the grass or on the beach. And you may notice that when you spend time outdoors barefoot, like going to the beach, it has a very calming effect on your body. Part of that is the sounds of nature, because sounds all have frequencies as well. So that can be really calming. Part of it is sunshine. Getting sunshine is important for our systems too. But part of it is the actual grounding, because you're barefoot at the beach usually. And that is helping to ground you. So if you have a flight, one of the best things you can do, you know how you just feel ick after flying? Part of it's that the dry air, so staying hydrated is great, but also like go out if you can somewhere barefoot, no concrete. So if you're in a city, you're going to try to look for like a patch of land, but either sitting on the ground or putting your bare feet on the ground, or even like hugging a tree. No, but like touching a tree would also connect you with that same resonance. So these are all ways that you can discharge the EMFs that our bodies are not made to be resonating in, and you can connect with the earth. And there's so much scientific stuff on this. Like if you just go to YouTube, you're already here. When you're done with this video, look up the benefits of grounding. It can be really miraculous. It does show people who spend 5 to 10 minutes grounding. It's incredible, like especially for inflammation in the body. So if you're somebody who experiences a lot of inflammation or pain in the body, grounding. There's also not just grounding on the earth. They make grounding mats. Usually if you're in a house, you're going to connect the mat to, every outlet has the little grounding socket in it, so it's helping ground the electrical current that's running through the cords or the cables, and it also helps if like lightning strikes a house. If you plug any of those grounding mats into that grounding element, and I'll show you how to do it in the directions, that's how it's going to work. Otherwise, just like sitting on your floor without the mat wouldn't work. If it's not connected, it's not going to work. Another thing, they sell grounding sheets. So I actually do use a grounding sheet. I don't love, it has silver like threading in it, and I don't love the texture of that. It's just kind of like a scratchy sheet. So I do put it underneath. So I have like a regular mattress pad, and then I have the grounding sheet, and then I have a regular sheet on top. So I don't know if that is like not as strong because I'm using it in that way, but I'm not going to sleep on a scratchy sheet. So that's the way I use it. So you can look up grounding sheets too. And that's a way to ground your body every night while you're sleeping. Because back 10,000 years ago, people used to sleep on the ground. So they were getting that grounding effect every time they would lay down and sleep. And again, it's just really good for the process of your bodies. It reduces inflammation, and it can be really healing for you. So look into that if you've never looked into it before. And then maybe even below that, I watched a good video on it this morning, which is why I was like, oh, I should talk about grounding today, because it's something. I run a coaching membership group, which you can find on HeidiHopeLearning.com. The She's Gone Free membership. It's a small monthly membership, but we talk about all this stuff in like health and healing, and really creating your dream life. And usually having a healthy body is part of that dream life. And so it's peak performance too. It's like, I think your physicality is a big part of your peak performance. So, in that we talk about grounding a lot, and I just feel like it just never was like common knowledge. So there you go. There you have it. If it's not your common knowledge, you can go look it up and go down that rabbit hole of information. So grounding's a big one. Another thing I have recently changed is my coffee consumption. This is my first cup of coffee today. And what time is it? It's 11:17, and it's like half gone. So I stopped drinking coffee. This is a recent change. I've been like I said, I try all the things. And one thing that I had a lot of symptoms of was high cortisol, which I don't feel that I really live a stressful life right now. But I think from 20 years or more, let's say, of a very hectic, burnt out lifestyle, like I think my system is just fried. So, I did a lot of fasting too, and fasting can be really stressful on your body too. So my normal thing would be like wake up, drink coffee all morning until like lunchtime. And that might be like 3 or 4 cups. And so I've done a lot of research around how that can be tough on your system. So I figured, let me just try not having coffee first thing. And like lemon water doesn't really do it for me. So, and the other thing is like eating within a short window of waking up too, which is something I've never really tried. I could care less about breakfast. I never hungry for breakfast, which is also a sign of high cortisol. So, that would not be a place where I wanted to like consume a lot of my calories, but I'm trying this out. It's been 2 weeks, and I gotta say, I have lost some weight. I've lost 6 pounds actually in 2 weeks. And the major change was making sure that I am having something with protein in it within 30 minutes of waking up. Now, we usually get up. I mean, my husband gets up at 4:45 in the morning to go to the gym. I usually get out of bed by like 5:30. So to eat protein at 5:30 in the morning is like not palatable for me at all. I don't know how you guys are. Are you breakfast eaters? Tell me if you're a breakfast eater. So I decided I started using my bone broth protein. So I already had chocolate bone broth protein, Paleo Valley. I'll link it in the description below after the live is over. You can just get it on Amazon. I subscribe and save to it. But it's really good, and it basically tastes like a hot chocolate, and it's protein, and it's really good for your bone broth. Is really good for your gut health too, because it's high in collagen, and sometimes I'll put gelatin in there too. I have just grass-fed, plain, unflavored gelatin, which is also really good for your gut health. So now I am just doing the chocolate bone broth instead of my coffee in the morning, and then I'm drinking a lot of water, and I try to drink a half gallon to a gallon of water a day. And then I have all different like electrolyte powders and different stuff that I put in it to taste good. And then when I'm ready to actually like eat food, then at least I've gotten like some protein and fat in before I'm ready to actually eat something for breakfast or lunch. Sometimes I'm still not ready for like a full meal until lunch. So that has made a big difference actually in how I feel in the morning. So then maybe mid-morning or at some point I'll have 1 cup of coffee. And I put my creatine in this. So creatine, I could put it in my water too. It dissolves into anything. But creatine is a supplement that I've been taking daily for almost a year now. And I definitely notice it in my muscle gain. I don't really think it's making a difference with losing weight or fat loss, but it definitely has made me like stronger. I feel like I don't have to lift as heavy even, and I still have a lot of muscle definition. So creatine's another supplement. The weighted vest. These are all like, I kind of joke, these are for the like over 40 crowd. Like, everybody in the neighborhood who's over 40 because they're all in a weighted vest, and they're probably taking their creatine supplements. But yeah, weighted vest. I started walking with that. I probably, out of all of I get 10,000 to 20,000 steps a day. And I use the weighted vest maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I don't like wearing it for every single walk. And sometimes it's really hot here and I'm just not in the mood. I live in Florida now, but I try to wear it. I think that's helpful. Just getting the steps in general is really helpful. And then weight training a couple of days a week has been working really good for me. Love creatine. Yay. I know. So it's actually really good for your brain too, so I'm always looking for hacks with my brain fog and like ADHD type symptoms and all of that. And that's why I loved fasting so much, because fasting puts you into ketosis. And when your body's producing ketones, like the brain loves ketones. It loves running off fat and using fat for fuel. So you'll see that often as like people with brain issues often get, when it comes to diet, they get recommended to go on a higher fat, more ketogenic style of diet, lower carbs. And I can feel that 100%. So if that's your brain type, you may feel that too. And that's why I loved fasting so much, because when I'm not digesting food, I feel like my brain is like super focused. But apparently that can also be from adrenaline, and that's not so good if you've been doing it for 20 years, which I pretty much have. It's after a while, it can kind of wreck your system. So still having something that's protein based and low carb with a little bit of fat. And you can actually put MCT oil in, or coconut, any coconut product in your coffee, like coconut milk. And that can help kind of hack the system so that you're getting MCTs, which your brain loves too. So your brain does love creatine, and it loves MCT oils, and it just loves running off of fat or being in ketosis. So there are different ways to get into ketosis, which is another reason I dropped fasting, was because I was doing it partially for autophagy, which autophagy is like your cell turnover. So it's kind of a process where your cells clean out all the bad cells. And I liked the thought of that as I was trying to heal my gut and other things. But you can stimulate autophagy without fasting as well. So look, if you're somebody who is fasting or intermittent fasting and there are so many benefits to it and it's working for you, that's awesome. But if you're doing that and it seems like it's not working anymore, which was happening to me, it just didn't really seem to like move. I felt like I was doing everything right and nothing was really moving in one direction or another. Then you could look into maybe like other ways to stimulate autophagy, like high intensity training stimulates it, getting a good night's sleep stimulates it. There's a lot of different ways to stimulate it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be fasting. Another thing, one of my goals this fall, I was looking into 75 hard, and I was talking to a friend about it because it's just, I like a competition. I need like something to work towards, or else I can be kind of lazy. So I was looking at 75 hard, which, do you guys know what that is? So it's a challenge, and you're supposed to drink a gallon of water a day, do 2 45-minute workouts, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Although I don't really care what time of day. I mean, if you're working out for 90 minutes, I think it doesn't really matter what time you do it, but maybe there's a reason for that. Sticking to a diet, like any eating protocol. What are the other ones? There's like 5 things. Like no processed food, no sugar, no alcohol, and reading 10 minutes of a like book, like a self-help book, or like a, you know what I mean? Like a positive mindset book. So I was talking to a friend about it who had done it. And then she was like, they do a 75 medium. And that is, I looked up that and I was like, well, that's kind of like what I do every day, to be honest with you. Like I'm a pretty active, healthy person. I was doing a lot of all the right things. And so that's why making some tweaks to like what I was doing in the morning, figuring out like maybe fasting so much isn't for me. I still probably will do like here and there an occasional 24-hour fast, because that's pretty easy. It's just you go from like dinner one day to dinner the next day. But maybe once a month instead of like more frequent fasting. And then otherwise I'm eating at 5:30 in the morning, which is unheard of for me, but it seems to be working. So just throwing it out there. If nothing's working for you, and you've tried all the things, maybe it's something like that for you too. Like I said, I am no expert. I've just tried a lot. So a few other things, the non-toxic stuff. So this, I think, is like all a part of healing your gut, which was one of my big goals of all of this, is just like reducing the amount of toxins that you're exposed to. So, and I always say like, pick your toxins, because like there's just so many toxins. Like it's just, I'm an artist. I'm exposed to it through paint, through clay, through materials. I've always got stuff all over my hands. Obviously like cleaning solutions and laundry detergents and all that stuff, you can try to choose more natural options for that. My watch is dinging. It's just distracting me. I've gotten rid of my used to get my lashes done. I've gotten rid of those. I was getting dip on my nails for a while. I just got rid of all that. So I have no nails left, which is really sad because I close up on my hands while I'm painting things. But I was like, if I'm doing that, if I'm really like cleansing all this out, then I should really just get rid of any culprits. I did find it's an OPI brand. but it's called Nature, like OPI Nature. It's on Amazon. I'll link to that too, but I really love it. It's like it's working well. It's very chip proof. It lasts for a long time. So happy with that anyways. And they're a much more non-toxic nail polish. So that's a good one to know, especially if you have kids too. I always hated the girls like wanting to put all toxic crap on their fingers. So the OPI Nature seems to be a pretty good brand. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It looks good to me. Obviously, like all your soaps and your shampoos and your lotions. So my middle daughter, Grace, has really bad eczema. So we've also been trying to figure out like how to keep her from having these really bad breakout. Her last breakout of it was so bad. So she got rid of everything. She was like the Bath and Body Works queen and had the candles and loved like decorating her room and like for every season, and she just got rid of all of it and gave it to her friends. And so we've converted her to much more natural products. And it seems to be working well for her too. And then there's some stuff that I use just on a regular basis for me and the kids that are like kind of help cleanse or detox the body, because no matter how hard you try, you're going to be exposed in the environment. You're going to be, even if you're out there grounding in your bare feet, like if there was something sprayed on the lawn, there's just so much in our environments. It's in our water, it's in our food supply, it's in even organic foods, like still have contaminants. It's almost impossible. So we're taking in a lot of it that's unnatural for our systems. So having like ways to regularly clean and work with your lymphatic system is so important to like not getting overloaded. So some things to support the lymphatic system, which is helping to cleanse body, and support the liver too, because the liver is like really is what struggles with processing all the toxins. Dry brushing is one thing that I don't do every single day, but so you can just go on Amazon, look for a dry brush. It's just like a wooden brush with like natural hairs. Dry brushing really stimulates detoxification and your lymphatic system. Rebounding is something I try to do every single day now, even just for 5 or 10 minutes. I incorporate it in my workout. So rebounding is just having like a mini trampoline or a big trampoline. But I've also seen that you can just jump up and down like in general. So you don't even have to it's better on a rebounder, but you can also do that in your house, just like jumping up and down, like jumping jacks or whatever. And there's different things you can do with your arm too to help move lymphatic flow. If your lymph is sluggish or blocked, you'll know, because usually you feel, first of all, your face can get really puffy. You can even feel puffy around the back of your neck. Gua sha is another thing that helps move lymph. So if you wake up with a really puffy face, you want to try to get your lymph moving like as soon as possible. So gua sha around the neck is one way to open it up. You can even just massage like areas where your lymph is on the body, where different lymph nodes are all over the place. Dry brushing is really helpful. Rebounding is really helpful. So those are just practices that I keep like in my regular detoxification process. Obviously yoga, sweating is like one of the best ways. So go sit out in the sun or go to a sauna or have a hard workout and just sweat. That's a great way. That's actually one of the best ways, because your skin is your biggest organs. Another thing that I use with the kids in their smoothies is zeolite powder. You can look that up. But zeolite powder helps bind to heavy metals and toxins in your body, and it's like a really gentle way to help your gut and to help remove all the bad guys. I guess the big thing is like keep removing the bad guys little by little and keep adding the good guys in through like probiotic foods like sauerkraut and yogurts, and if you can tolerate dairy, and just collagen, like any of the bone broths and stuff, those are all really good for your gut. So prebiotics are good too. So it's like keep adding good guys in all day long and keep taking bad guys out little by little. If you detox too fast with any of that stuff, it can actually cause like I think it begins with an H, like Hexberg reaction or something like that. But it's almost like your body is releasing too much of the stuff into your system at once. And so it actually makes you feel way worse. So it's better to do it more gently, like on a daily basis. So I like the zeolite powder because the kids don't get any side effects from that. And like little by little, that's helping remove toxins. And then lots of like herbs, like cilantro is a big one that's super healthy. Parsley and cilantro are both really great. So like having fresh herbs and lots of antioxidants in everything that you eat can help combat that too. It's really a wild world out there. There's a lot, and that's why I just joke, like there's so many things. There's just so many things with exercise and diet. And also, okay, here's my biggest piece of advice too. Whatever you're trying, make sure you're incorporating the mindset piece into it. Like the mind is more powerful than anything else. And so the mind believing it's going to work or not believing it's going to work is a big part of whether or not it's going to work. You guys have heard of the placebo effect. Plenty of studies done around that. So really, also the language that you're using around it is really important too. And that's why even today, I'm talking about all the stuff I've done. I haven't talked a lot about any problems I had or symptoms I had or any of that, because when we keep telling the story of being sick or injured, we continue to live that story of being sick and injured. So if you want to have a new, biology within your body, but really just a new reality, if you want things to change, you have to start making sure that more of your inner dialogue and what you're talking about to people is all about the result, which is being healed or whole or whatever, healthy, vibrant. And so even when you're doing the thing, like you're taking the supplement or you're doing the workout or you're doing the grounding or whatever, while you're doing it, your head can't be in a space of everything that went wrong in your day or everything that's wrong with your body, or it can't be. And that's why sometimes like diet and exercise, when it comes from a place of fear or like self-hatred, which I think a lot of it probably does, like punishment even, if it comes from that place, it's really not as effective as coming from a place of like, I'm doing this because I love myself. I'm doing this because like my body knows how to heal and I'm supporting it in its healing and all of that. So having the mindset piece is like everything else without it is not going to work as well as when you're also making sure that what you're saying in your head and what you're speaking to people is speaking out loud, words or spells, that you are coming at that from a place of real, like seeing yourself healed, seeing yourself with the outcome that you desire, seeing yourself as having lots of energy, as being vibrant, having glowing skin, of whatever your health goals are, even having an injury healed. It's really like seeing it as healed, seeing it as already done. And that's really the way since this is Miracle Mornings, that's the way every miracle happens, is like having faith so much in the future state that it just becomes who you are. And then suddenly you're living in the future state. So try it. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to comment below if you haven't commented yet. Say hi. Tell me where you're joining from. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. Like it, share it if you think anybody else would be interested in. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified every time I go live, which is usually Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So I will see you next week on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Bye, everybody.